As much as I hate to say it, it seems like "I told you so" will be the defining phrase of the Trump administration, because we tried to warn people about the dangers of Donald Trump, about the failures of his past presidency, and how much more unfit and out of control he would be if he was reelected. And MAGA, yes, the people who voted for Donald Trump are already figuring that out before he takes the oath of office for a second time, because many MAGA voters, many Trump voters, especially those in unions, are realizing the mistake they made. And a specific example of that is leading to some union members in Pennsylvania to be furious with Donald Trump. And we are going to get into all of that. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really means the world to me. Now, like I said, union members coming out against Donald Trump out of fear that he is about to cost them their jobs. And so before we get into that breaking news story, I want to hear the person who warned them about that in Kamala Harris right here.
Now look, my opponent, Donald Trump, well, he makes big promises on manufacturing. Just yesterday, he went out and promised to bring back manufacturing jobs. And if that sounds familiar, it should. In 2016, he went out and made that very same promise about the Carrier plant in Indianapolis. You'll remember, Carrier then offshored hundreds of jobs to Mexico under his watch. And it wasn't just there. On Trump's watch, offshoring went up and manufacturing jobs went down across our country and across our economy. All told, almost 200,000 manufacturing jobs were lost during his presidency, starting before the pandemic hit, making Trump one of the biggest losers ever on manufacturing. Donald Trump also talked a big game on our trade deficit with China. But it is far lower under our watch than any year of his administration. While he constantly got played by China, I will never hesitate to take swift and strong measures when China undermines the rules of the road at the expense of our workers, our communities, and our companies, whether it's flooding the market with steel, inferior, or at all, unfairly subsidizing shipbuilding, or hurting our small businesses with counterfeits. Recall, Donald Trump actually shipped advanced semiconductor chips to China, which helps them upgrade their military. Understand the impact of these so-called policies that really are not about a plan for strengthening our prosperity or our security. I will never sell out America to our competitors or adversaries. Never. Never. And I will always make sure we have the strongest economy and the most lethal fighting force anywhere in the world.
We saw a mass exodus of manufacturing jobs and an investment in American manufacturing during the Trump presidency, and we saw an explosion of investment in American manufacturing under the Biden-Harris administration. Somehow, people didn't learn. They didn't learn their lesson. And so now we're back to Donald Trump and back to that manufacturing recession, which, like I said, before he's even taken the oath of office, is starting to hit union workers in Pennsylvania. And I want to get into that unfortunate news right here. Gut punch. Trump upsets local union leaders by opposing U.S. Steel Nippon deal. On Monday night, President-elect Donald Trump reiterated his opposition to the proposed $14.9 billion sale of U.S. steel to Japan's Nippon Steel Co., vowing to block the deal when he takes office. Some steelworkers in Pittsburgh's Mon Valley who support the deal and Trump weren't happy. I am very frustrated with the news that came out last night. United Steelworkers Local 2227 Vice President Jason Zugai said during a panel discussion Tuesday in Washington, D.C., "I didn't expect that to come out, so that was like a gut punch." The local represents hundreds of workers at U.S. Steel's Irvin Works in West Mifflin. Maskell told the panel convened by the Hudson Institute, a Washington, D.C. think tank, that 95% of the employees at Irvin Works now support the Nippon purchase. He suspects that a majority of workers across all three Mon Valley facilities back the deal as well. There are more than 3,000 union steelworkers across the three facilities in the Mon Valley Works. Zugai said he was hopeful Trump would eventually support it after speaking with Mon Valley workers and members of Mon Valley communities. Kelly, the West Mifflin mayor, poked fun at Trump for not coming around to their side. He said he has yet to hear from any national politician about a plan to invest in the Mon Valley plants if the deal with Nippon is blocked. Maybe he has concepts of a plan, Kelly said about Trump, referencing an often mocked line from Trump during the September debate with Vice President Kamala Harris when discussing health care. The Trump transition team did not respond to a request for comment. Donald Trump's return to office could quite literally immediately cost 3,000 steelworkers in just Pittsburgh alone their jobs on day one. Kamala Harris tried to warn that we need to be investing in American manufacturing. Donald Trump won't. Nobody listened. Nobody listened when we made the points about the failures of his past administration. Just listen to Pete Buttigieg right here.
So the fact that he didn't just refer to Donald Trump as an idiot, though he didn't just say all kinds of things about how he was terrible, but compared Donald Trump to opioids, that is literally the darkest, most negative thing someone connected to Appalachia could possibly say about a politician. And that was in public, right? In private, he was comparing him to Hitler, reportedly. He has yet to explain why his opinion would be any different other than his own search for power.
So when he says, I watched Donald Trump in office, that's what changed my mind, you're not buying that.
That doesn't make any sense, especially coming from the Midwest. He's from Ohio. I grew up in Indiana and live in Michigan. I have seen how the industrial Midwest went into a manufacturing recession under Donald Trump and has experienced a manufacturing renaissance under the Biden-Harris administration. Why is that? Because the Biden-Harris administration has led on policies that have factories rising out of the ground of places, including places like near where I grew up, that haven't seen this kind of investment in a generation. How could J.D. Vance or anybody else initially think that Donald Trump is a disaster? Watch him lead the country into a manufacturing recession. This is, by the way, before COVID, let alone everything that happened through the mismanagement of COVID, and then say, oh, now I've seen the light. He's a great leader and I want to be on his team. I think we all know why J.D. Vance changed his mind.
Do you think
we saw an economic collapse under Donald Trump because of the mismanagement of the COVID-19 pandemic? His focus was on making himself look good, cutting big tax cuts for his rich friends. That was it. He was never focused on me, never focused on you, never making the country better. No, he was focused on that. It's what we tried to warn people about. And it was going to be the same this go around. Even worse, actually, because now Donald Trump has more billionaire friends who he wants to hand out more tax cuts to, and he's going to make you and I pay for them. It's exactly what we've been saying. It's exactly what Tim Walz said in this clip right here.
Because we know when workers win, America wins. It's that simple. And guess what? The middle class grows and businesses flourish. Now look, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, they see things differently. Trump talks a big game, but he was a disaster for working people. He was one of the biggest losers of manufacturing jobs in American history, and that's a fact. So to your neighbors, your friends, hell, our family members, if they say, I don't really like Trump, but I like his policies, which policies were those? When he destroyed American manufacturing? When he shipped jobs to China? Hell, he doesn't even manufacture his Bibles here. He outsources that to China. So just so we know, under his leadership, 83,000 jobs disappeared in Wisconsin. Now, I know this state knows. Thank God for Tony Evers and some sanity in this, because I remember.
I hate to say it. I don't like to. I don't want to. But, yeah, Tim Walz kind of told you so. We all kind of told you so. And Donald Trump even kind of told you so. Many times he was asked about how he would bring back these manufacturing jobs that were already coming back because of the Biden-Harris administration, policies opposite to those of Donald Trump, showing the reason why he should have never been elected again, let alone in the first place. When he was asked those questions, he would do the weave, and he would never answer them because he doesn't have answers, clearly. Let's go back to this clip. Do we remember this right here?
The major threats to the future of Michigan manufacturing, auto working jobs, and what will you do to eliminate those threats, sir?
Okay, so I'll get into another little bit of a long answer, because when you say major threat, to me we have one really major threat. That's called nuclear weapons. We have other countries that are hostile to us. They don't have to be hostile to us. I always say if you have a smart president, you'll never have a problem with China, Russia, or any of them, okay? I got along great with Putin. I got along great with President Xi. I got along great with Kim Jong-un of North Korea. Everybody said, oh, you can't get along with him. He liked me. I got along great with him, and he has a lot of nuclear force. But you essentially have 5 countries, and you're going to have more. Whether you like it or not, you're going to have more. It's the single biggest threat to the world. Not only Michigan, to the world. And you're not going to care so much about making cars if that stuff starts happening. And we have people that...
Asked about protecting and increasing manufacturing in Michigan, protecting the jobs of auto workers, and he starts talking about nukes. Why, America? Were you not listening? Was no one paying attention? Clearly. And now we're suffering the consequences. And those consequences are going to have to be called out every single day. And we're going to be doing that on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around to the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.